Welcome to the Scrappy Entrepreneur Podcast, the show that brings you practical, informative tips from the trenches to help you thrive and prosper as an entrepreneur. Whether you're just beginning your journey or working to grow your existing business, this show is for you. And now, your host, the original Scrappy Entrepreneur, Paula Y.
All right, well, welcome back to the Scrappy Entrepreneur Show. Today, I have Dean Katris in the studio with me. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you.
Dean is a rare find. He is a serial entrepreneur that I found who has built up many businesses. One business in particular that we're going to talk about today that is really interesting, where he has built a promotional company that services corporate companies and casinos across the country. It's called Power Promotions, and they do custom-made promotional products. And what we're really going to talk about today is the loyalty programs that he provides for his customers. But before we get into that, Dean, tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and about you.
I grew up in Las Vegas. I was born here. And I have 4 children. My family lives here, small family. It's just my dad and my sister, and had a brother and a mother. But right now it's just me, my dad, my sister, my 4 kids live in Las Vegas.
Awesome. How did you get the entrepreneurial bug?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Neither one of my parents had that bug. My dad was a baccarat dealer. My mom was a preschool teacher. And just from a young age, I was always like, I got to do something different. I got to figure out a way. When I left the hotel business, my goal was not to get a promotion, was to create wealth.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you knew early that you wanted to just not have a 9-to-5 job, but create real wealth so you could live the life that you wanted.
Right.
That's awesome. So what was your very first venture into entrepreneurship? What was your first company?
It was a friend of mine when I was in the hotel business asked me if I wanted to sell some T-shirts on the side.
Yeah.
And I worked swing shift at the Tropicana. I was assistant hotel manager at the time, and I'm like, sure. What does that mean? So I invested some money with them, and my whole goal was like, I am getting this money back.
Was it a lot of money?
No.
Oh, okay.
But at the time, it felt like a lot of money, and I was newly married and buying a house, and I was not going to lose that money.
Right. So you sold T-shirts?
I started selling T-shirts. At first, we had printed some. I didn't know anything about the business. He had kind of knew some things about the business, but didn't really want to, work that hard. He was a limo driver, so he was making tips.
Right. Who did you guys sell them to?
I started selling them everywhere. It was so funny. So it was right before Thanksgiving, and I was we opened it up, and I'm like, okay, I got to get in there and do something.
Yeah.
I need that money back. So then I went to the money. Yeah, I got to get that money. And so I went to the movies with my wife at the time, and we saw Miracle on 34th Street, and I'm like, oh, I can make a shirt that says I believe on the front, Santa's coming to town on the back. And at the time, I didn't even know how to do that.
Did you do it?
I did. So I literally called the T-shirt supplier, and he had a friend, my partner had a friend that was going to print, but we weren't his priority.
Right.
So I asked the T-shirt supplier, hey, who's your top printer in town? So I went and met with him the day after Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we ended up printing.
Very good.
And then, so I just took those around and started selling those and taking orders. And I ended up selling, I don't know, about 2,000 T-shirts, which at the time was a lot of T-shirts, but it opened doors. So it got me into a couple banks, like 3 schools.
Wow.
And a casino, 2 casinos for their HR team to wear them just as a fun Friday shirt, like I believe.
Wow. And so you made your money back.
I made my money.
And then some.
And then I started hustling. And then I started in the morning, wake up and work, from 8 to 12 selling shirts, and then come home, eat lunch, and then go work from 3 to 11 in the casino.
That's amazing, because I hear from so many entrepreneurs that think being an entrepreneur or a business owner is nothing but, I can wake up when I want, I get to go home early, I get to do what I want, but it's actually the opposite. You have to work really hard.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah, and I'm doing it again during this pandemic.
Yeah, you're coming back to your scrappy entrepreneur roots, right?
Exactly.
Working hard.
Yes.
So then you sold T-shirts, and then you actually went on and you had an apparel company. You were in commercial real estate. You did some custom homes.
Yep.
Some custom home development, and now you have a company called Power Promotions.
Yes.
So it's an awesome company. I'm so excited to tell my listeners about this because I think that if you're trying to create loyalty with your customers or get in front of them with some cool items, Power Promotions is really it. So tell us about Power Promotions. How did it start, and tell us about your company.
Well, I was reinventing myself, and the housing market, after 2008 crash, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do something different. And I have a passion for gifts and the promotional items, but I needed to reinvent myself. So at the time when I used to do it was only Vegas casinos.
So how did you start?
I literally had one casino out of state in Washington, went there. I knew someone there that came from Vegas. And then after I learned how to get that relationship and build it across state lines, then I started, I went to Arizona because I was close.
Right.
Started
What year was this?
2011.
So 2011, you start with one casino.
One casino.
And now it's 2020 and you have over 200.
Over 200 casinos we service in 30 states.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you build it? Just one casino at a time?
One trip at a time, not one casino.
One trip.
One trip at a time. Yeah. So when I go on, I literally do it old school. I say, hey, I'm going to go to New York. So I get on the computer, figure out what casinos are around there. Now I have software to help my team, but back then I didn't. So I would literally Google all the casinos in New York, and then I'd start with the biggest and work down.
Would you just show up?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would
so
literally.
You called ahead?
I got the 800 number. I have a little trick to get past all the gatekeepers and talk to them. And
wait, what's the trick?
I just have a way of getting past the gatekeeper.
I thought it would have been amazing. Wow.
So I set up appointments and then just go on a marathon for 3 or 4 days. And like a New York East Coast trip, I will hit probably 15 casinos in 3 or 4 states, depending on when they'll take the appointment. So I'll fly into New York, go all the way up to Buffalo, go to Syracuse, go back down to Philadelphia, drive to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
All in one trip. So I, wake up, and then if I finish a casino, I know I have to wake up in the next city. So I drive that evening and wake up in the next city.
So in this digital age when so many people are relying on Zoom meetings, and you really believe in that personal one-to-one touch in the relationship, right? It sounds like that's how you built it.
Yeah, for sure. Still the best technology for building a business is not LinkedIn, not any of the social media. That's good to get your name out there, but if you want to build the relationship, it's still the telephone and face-to-face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started building it, so how did you start with, let's talk about the power-up promotions that you do for the casinos. Can you tell us a little bit about the promotional side of it?
So I had a showroom, and it had Power Up is a way we trademark giving out gifts for the casinos to draw loyalty and to build the redemption rate up on people to come in. So when you're talking about a casino, they give away gifts and they're doing a direct mail piece. They want more people to come in and redeem more gifts because then more people are going to play.
So they send a direct mail piece to a potential gaming player and they lure them in with a gift.
Yeah, so they may go out to, easy math, 10,000 people, and they're expecting a redemption rate of 15 to 20% response to come in and get that gift on, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. And then when they get the gift, do they just automatically play the games and then?
They know that you're a qualified player. They're not fishing. They know that you have a history. When you come in, you're theoretically a $100 or $200 or $500 player, whatever your play track past history is.
Right. So your Power Up Promotions, that's the name of the loyalty program, right? Power
Up is a way of giving out gifts so that we can get you to draw it. it gets, for a continuities are 4 weeks that go together for a loyalty program that go for the whole month.
Okay.
So
There's a couple gifts within that month.
4.
4 gifts.
One
okay.
gift a week that make a whole set.
Right.
Okay. It could be 4 pieces of luggage to make 4 pieces of cookware, 4 small appliances that match. Okay. So you want the whole set to go in your kitchen or to complete your luggage set. Well, to get them to go to all 4 weeks, we've powered up all those promotions.
Got it.
And to do that, whatever it is, if you go to all 4 weeks, we're going to reward you to go to all 4 weeks, and we're going to put you in a drawing that Power Promotions is going to give you that 5th gift for free.
Wow.
That 5th gift to help the casino is always name brand best in its category.
Such as like?
If we're going to do a luggage promotion and you're traveling, then hey, maybe if you're traveling on a plane, you're going to want the Bose noise canceling headphones. And so we're going to get you the newest one, Bluetooth, that's the top of the line in that category. Or if we're going to do an outdoor promotion, we're not going to give you the cooler as the power-up gifts for the drawing. We're going to give you a Yeti cooler that's the new one with the wheels and the handle, because that's what people want.
Right. How many promotions do the casinos typically do? Is it like 1 a week, 5 a month?
On the continuity, we'll do contracts now with them. So we've changed from just going 1 month at a time to, because we also provide data for them now that can track the response rate, and we do 100% returns on what they don't use.
Wow.
Because we back what we're saying on the formula of getting the response rate up. So they're doing 52 weeks a year.
52 weeks a year. And then are they the ones doing the direct mail to pull them in, and you just provide the promotions or the promotional products?
No, now we're full service. So
okay.
We'll help them with the data up front if they want, and they can a la carte what they want us to do. We'll provide them with the data up front. We have proprietary dashboards that we've invested a lot of money in to help you what qualified player to get you the maximum ROI and the maximum profit on the event. So it can, if we know your budget, then we'll tell you where to mail down. We do a database draw, non-player specific. So it's very non-evasive, but very informative to the casino. And then we'll help them do their direct mail artwork for free. So we design that for free, and we help them with the data for free, simply for doing the contract with Power Promotions.
Awesome. So you are pretty known for getting some really cool items and getting them for a really cost-effective price. How do you do that? I mean, that's one of your unique selling points, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, my whole team is empowered, and that's what, when you get into the internal side of the business, my team has to have a passion for it, and they also have to have that creative bug where they want to go out there and find new things and put together creative bundles or what is hot in the marketplace. So anything that's hot in the marketplace, if you're out, let's use that, Yeti mugs are really popular and they retail for $40. Well, if we know that's popular, so we're going to find the same source that Yeti is producing in China. We have a team of 18 people that do all of our sourcing specifically just for Power Promotions.
18 people in China?
18 people in China.
Wow.
And so we work with them directly, real time. If I send them a quote tonight, request tonight, I wake up and I have it in my email in the morning.
Wow.
And if there's things that we want to go over, we may stay up late or wake up early, and we're communicating real time with them, emailing back and forth to tweak it. No, I don't like that color. I want it a little different. I want it powder coated. I want the logo here. So you can, our whole slogan is, from traveling and going to all these places is, like, I didn't come all the way, going back to New York, I didn't go all the way to New York to tell you no. So whatever you want, the answer is yes, and I'm going to find a way to get to that yes.
You've never had to say no?
I won't just tell them no. I say, the worst case scenario is, I can't do this, but this is what I can do.
Right.
Or I can do that, it's just not in your budget, so let's modify to get you to yes. This is what you want.
So if I come to you and I have this Toomey suitcase, and I say I want to buy 500 of these, you're able to replicate it through a
Yes.
source in China for pennies?
I did not pennies, dollars, but
Dollars.
Tumi is good. So, but I did do a Tumi attaché. I was working with Oracle, the big software, company in the Bay Area.
So you work with a lot of corporate companies too.
I do work with corporate companies.
Okay.
So that bag was about a $300 bag. We replicated it, took ballistic nylon, similar pockets, straps, everything. No branding on it that says Tumi. They're not trademarked. Okay. Took all the T's off and all the Tumi logos, put Oracle and O's, zipper pulls, the same embellishments, the same woven labels, hang tags, whatever it may be, and delivered it for around $30.
$30.
Yeah.
And do you have to buy big quantities?
No, that was only 1,000 pieces, which isn't that big. Sometimes even if we do custom apparel, I can do as small as 300 jackets, and we do custom apparel. That's another thing that's really helped with the corporate clients and the giveaways. If we're doing custom, small through 6XL is all the same price, which doesn't happen anywhere.
Right.
And you could pick the color, you could pick the lining, the zipper pulls, the neck taping, the labels are all custom. So you're not adding your brand onto somebody else.
That's awesome. So any piece I find, I can bring it to you and say, source this for me and find it at a way cheaper price.
Yeah, unless it's trademarked, and then we'll tell you that's trademarked, but we can find you
something similar.
You're right.
So what are the hot pieces out there right now? What's like super hot?
Well, in the casino business, housewares is
like pots and pans?
anything in the kitchen.
Anything in the kitchen?
Anything in the kitchen is hot. Okay.
Is it because they're bringing in a lot of housewives or?
No.
Seniors.
They just like to regift it. A lot of things like the Instapots.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do Instapot. We can also do the name brand and get the real ones at wholesale. We do.
Okay.
Because like when we power up, that power up gift is always the name brand and the top of the line. But that's electric pressure cooker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we can also replicate that, and that's a $60, $70, $80 gift depending on the size, and then we replicate it and bring it in custom labeled, and I don't know, it's around $35.
What about on the corporate side? Like, what is Oracle giving to their customers and stakeholders?
They want things. They want cool things. They want electronics. They want bundles. They want where we can partner things together and make a corporate bundle. Like we're doing a corporate bundle right now where you take a zip pouch, and with the pandemic going on, we're going to put a custom mask, neck pillow, eye cover, so when you're traveling on a plane, and then Bluetooth headphones, all in a custom.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then a little spray, deep.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, but for the
tray.
For the tray.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the pandemic, you were telling me a story that I thought was amazing on how you were keeping in touch with your customers during this time. So you came into the office and you started reaching out to all of them, right? You started reaching out to the customers, and tell us what you did.
Yeah, it wasn't in the office because we all had to stay at home.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want the governor coming after me.
You were up working.
I was up working at my house. And so the way I found to build loyalty and whether it's any kind of relationship is give first.
Give first.
Yeah, because everyone, and then you're not asking for anything. I'm going to make the first gesture. So I went through our entire database, even people that we have wanted to reach out to and haven't had the opportunity to get on the phone or set up an appointment with, that maybe we got their contact from a trade show or something like that, and said, I got all my reps, give me everyone you know. Okay, and it was about 500 people in over 200 casinos.
Right.
And I literally just had them on my Excel spreadsheet and went through and called each one of them one at a time.
So you, the owner of the company, just started calling each one of them.
Yeah.
And what did you say?
Hey, nice to meet you. I wanted to see how you're doing, checking on you. How's things going? And do you need any of the KN95 masks? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, because I'll send them to you, for you and your family, to your house for free.
Wow.
Tell me how many you need.
Because that was at the time when masks were hard to find, right?
Really hard to find.
So you're calling up saying, hey, I'm here for you. I want to send you masks for you and your family to your house
for
in
free.
charge. Wow.
Yeah, and we're gonna pay, and we're gonna UPS them to you, and just give me your address. So
wow. And were people genuinely
oh yeah,
appreciative?
yeah. And so I'm like, can you text me your home address so I have it, get it right. Now I also have their cell phone, so I can reach back and say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Back to work.
Smart. Wow. Hey, it's me again.
Hey, I'm coming to I'm coming to New York.
Yeah.
You want to do dinner? Remember I sent those masks to you and your family?
Right. Here.
Yeah, and a lot of them were like, hey, yeah, when you come, I'd like to meet you. And I'd never met with them before. So it was really cool. So we've picked up 16 casinos during the pandemic when they're closed.
Wow.
As new customers because of this. And so a lot of them
really
go,
admirable.
well, can you give us and then from there they go, well, can you do some for the casino? So then I put together a whole deck of everything that everyone I talked to during that week of calling them all that they wanted, whether it was floor signs or masks or reusable masks or hand sanitizer or pumps or, with the gel. And then I went back and sent them all, hey, here's what everyone's asking for.
Right.
After I went through the list, I started back on the list and went back again.
Like, here's a list of what all the industry is looking to use moving forward to.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I would show them pictures of like, hey, here's what Foxwoods is putting on their mask. And like, well, we compete with Foxwoods. I go, right now we're not competing against each other. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about getting the industry open. Then we can start competing. And they're like, okay, I respect that. So I was showing them what everyone's doing.
Right. That's good. I mean, because a lot of entrepreneurs during this time, they're just stricken with fear and they put their head down and they don't know what to do. But you just push that fear right aside and just started calling. That's really, really great.
Yeah. And they were so nice. And, I've actually made some, I've talked to a few of the GMs, Chris Williams and this gentleman, Eric, and like 5 or 6 times now. And they're like, hey, Dean, just checking in. And we've become friends over the pandemic and just giving them 6 masks,
Wow. It's nothing like a good crisis to push your company forward.
Right.
That's amazing. So are there any other things you do or that you've seen out there for entrepreneurs and companies listening on how they can build loyalty with their customers?
To be honest with you, just like the pandemic and that, I learned that. I went to school at UCSB and
is that Santa Barbara, the party school?
Yeah. My favorite class, and I don't know if he's listening or whatever, it was taught by Paul Orfila, the founder of Kinko's.
Okay.
And it was a 1 day a week, 3 hours, pass fail, and he would just go over business strategy. And the biggest thing that resonated was during the times when you mess up, that's how you build loyalty.
Right.
Okay.
How you handle it, right?
How you handle it.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing during the pandemic, going out there and just doing
Showing
something
up.
with no strings attached. I'm just simply giving you this and checking. Same thing when there's a problem, how are you going to handle it? That's how you really build loyalty.
Wow.
Hey, yeah, we all make mistakes. If someone's saying they don't make mistakes in our business, logos, colors, custom made, packaging, there's a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Okay, how do you want me to handle it? You know what, you're right, I'll eat it. And a lot of them for gifts. Keep that at no charge, and I'm going to get you the replacement so you have something to give away when it comes in, and then you can give away the right gift.
Wow. Yeah, I learned early on in my career, I made a mistake once, and I remember it was a big direct mail piece, and I think there was a word spelled wrong or something. And the client came to us very, very upset, and I said, I'm sorry, and I'll take care of it.
Right, and you're right.
You're right. I learned to never come up with a defense, just say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it right, and then make it right.
Yeah, and make it right, and even, I've had, $20,000, $30,000 mistakes, but they were right.
Right.
And
they know you're going to take care of them. And
right.
Yeah.
Or in our business, it's time sensitive. So if something gets caught up in customs, I had for A, which is a casino up in Washington by the Oregon coast, their mugs, their Yeti mugs, got caught up in customs. So I had to order domestic ones and overnight them. And that wasn't my fault, but it cost me $17,000 to save their promotion.
Wow. How is, you know what's going on in the world affecting your business. I mean, do you worry about China and the trades and what Trump's doing? Does it affect you? Because you said everything comes from China, right?
And that's funny because a few people have reached out to me in the last 2 weeks and go, "Hey, with our promotions, we want to do American made."
Oh,
Okay, well, the only on a casino promotion side, the only thing you can get American made are bakeware, cast iron, and a shirt and a hat. I go and I tell them, the phone you're talking to me on, that American company, Apple, that phone was made in China. I don't know what you want me to get you. Okay.
right.
I don't know what you want me to get you. So I go, you could pick from those 3 items, maybe
That's it, huh?
maybe one more. Yeah.
Wow. You need to do better here.
Yeah. I mean, it's serious. And all those items are more expensive than if I brought them in from China. So you're just going to get less for the same price.
Right. So you're not worried about any long-term ramifications to the business based upon what's going on with China?
No, not from what's going on from China. And then, that's why casino business, selling to casinos is so good. I mean, the casinos that have opened, I just talked to a casino today in Auction in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Harris property. And they had record week.
They did? Oh, that's amazing news.
Like their best week in 25 years, like record.
Yeah, because everyone wants to get the hell out of their house.
Yeah. With half the machines open.
Oh, with half the machines, that is really good news for Vegas.
But they had their biggest week ever.
Wow.
And then same thing happened in Washington, Coeur d'Alene. So the casinos that are opening are doing really well, which is great that we live in Las Vegas. We just need to get it open.
Right. So tell me, you started talking a little bit about this, the casinos that are doing these power-up promotions. You actually power the whole campaign with a software and dashboard that can help the casino understand the ROI or the return on investment.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the software behind it.
Yeah, I wanted to do something different. Again, give them more, just like I'm saying, build loyalty. There's no charge. If we're going to partner up and we're going to take back 100% of the returns, then we need to make sure that they're having all the tools accessible to them to run their promotion successfully. And so with this new software, I partnered with a casino operator, met this gentleman, genius, and challenged him, I want something that when they look at this software, they go, I got to have it.
Right.
And so he just rolled it out to him about 3 weeks ago. It took him about 6 weeks to invent this software.
Did you find him in China too?
I did not find him in China. I actually saw him at a trade show and I was so impressed. And then when I got back, I asked my team, can you find that guy that was speaking on stage? And I called and introduced myself to him. He lives in California.
Okay, so he created the whole software behind it.
On this dashboard, yeah.
And were any of your competitors doing this?
They do something, but not. And that's the other thing is, as much as you can, be transparent.
Yeah.
So there's a couple competitors that do some data, but this is completely transparent where they can change all the parameters and they could see what I'm seeing to show the numbers that we're going to end with, so that there's nothing given. Hey, what's the response rate and how many are going to get a gift and walk and what's your return on investment? What's your total expenditure? All these things.
Have you been able to modify the way you do the promotions based upon the software? Like, how does the software help you?
To be honest with you, we're just rolling it out about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So in the last 3 weeks, we've been doing some data, but now this is at a different level. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been doing all these gentlemen that I met or ladies that are running the casinos, the GMs, setting up webinars and running them through the software, but they're not implementing it because they're not open.
Oh, okay.
So they're just getting ready to open. So now in the next month is when we'll actually start running it. But they can see that they already know that it's going to work because of this. And how it helps is we know exactly who to mail to maximize the algorithms, to maximize the profit on the number of gifts they're giving away.
Wow. Was it hard to make such a big investment in the company? I know for a lot of entrepreneurs, they say, should I make this big investment? Will it produce a return? What went through your head when deciding to make such a big investment?
Yeah, the last year and a half, I've invested a lot working with another company out of Arizona with a a customized adaptation of Salesforce that can show you all the casinos in the areas and help us so we don't duplicate gifts and markets to the casinos that we're selling.
Right.
And that was a huge investment. And then this was also a huge investment. And yeah, it's scary. And a lot of, when you roll it out, I mean, my internal customers, my team are going, so now we're selling data? I thought we were selling gifts. And the thing that solidified it really, I was watching a documentary back in February, right before I hired this gentleman too, and I heard him speak, and I'm like, I got to figure out how to do things different.
Right. Constantly like evolve.
Right. So, and I was in the documentary, the number one valuable resource in the world today is no longer oil. It's data.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. And after I heard that, I'm like, I need to be able to take the data as the number one resource in the world and be able to give it back to the casino in a way that they can read it and use it. And the other thing is, a lot of times these data companies, they have one or two people on their team that can pull the data, and they're buried.
Right.
And they're held hostage at this pace of this person working.
Right.
Now they have this tool that changes all the parameters right in front of them, and they can get it literally in seconds, any angle that they want to look at the information that they need as a general manager or the VP of marketing to run their promotion successfully.
And it sounds like an intuitive software that's easy to use.
So easy, yeah. It's all, I mean, very easy, clicking buttons, dragging to change the parameters that you need.
So what was the documentary?
Oh my God, what? I can't remember the name of it. It was the one where they were talking about the data for the last election.
Data, not, and I want to say data analogic. I forget the name of it. Data something, where they were like taking people's data and selling it for,
Yeah, and that's the number one research, and that's why, you know, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, I mean, we're the data they're selling.
Right.
That's why he's a billionaire.
Yes.
You know, that's why Amazon is a data company using the data to put the right product on your screen based on your past or what you're clicking.
Right.
All those things on the bottom. You might like this too.
Right. Here you go.
Yeah.
So building this business and building a lot of other businesses, what has been one of the biggest challenges for you as an entrepreneur?
I mean, depending on the business, is just getting the message out there so that people understand that what you're saying, you're delivering.
Is it marketing your business or just making sure that you're communicating your vision and your team is delivering on it?
Yeah, just so that just getting that trust across when you're going in there and meeting someone, you know, like, hey, I'm in New York, you're from the West Coast. Why do I buy from you? There's a million promotional product companies right around this whole city. You know, why am I going to order from someone across the country?
What do you say?
I mean,
that's the good.
No, and that's it. Hey, it's all about how we handle the situations when they come up.
Right.
You know, and are we willing to back it? And now, if I take 100% returns of what they don't using, I'm telling you my product will move. And that's what we do. And if it doesn't move, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. You send it back at no charge.
So as a salesperson, have you had to learn skills? Like, did you ever learn like NLP, like neuro linguistic programming or whatever it is? Like, you know, as a salesperson, have you done extended training?
Yeah, I do. I am a trainer.
Oh, that's right. You are a trainer. I forgot to tell everyone here that Dean is actually a corporate trainer?
Leadership development trainer.
A leadership development trainer. So tell us about that. How did you get into that?
Years ago, I was one of my customers, marketing director at Boulder Station, had gone through a program and said, oh my God, you got to go. And I was like, okay. So I bought 2 classes, one for me and one for my wife, and went and fell in love with the concept of personal growth and development and experiential training. Went through all their classes and became a master trainer there after 2 years of a lot of work and learning the whole thing from the ground up.
So what do you learn? What do you train on?
Leadership competencies to not just talk about them, but how to use them. And through experiential training, you get a practice them in a controlled environment, and then take the analogies and the metaphors from that experience and how you're going to apply them to your business or personal life, not to take broken and fix it, but to go from good to great. And the people that are playing at a level, because people go, I'm already playing at this high level.
Right.
The challenge I always ask them in class is, everyone around you playing at the same level you're playing, then what are you going to do about that?
Right.
Because you can play just like all these documentaries on the Bulls, right?
Yes.
Michael couldn't do it until he figured out how to get everyone else playing at the same level.
Right.
And sometimes it was tough love that he's getting criticized for now, and holding people accountable and getting in their face. And sometimes it was, come on, man.
Right.
And sometimes his team needed to pick him up when he wasn't feeling well or whatever. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about how you're going to build the team around you to get the most out of the people around you.
That's amazing. I love that documentary came out because, it showed him as human. You thought he was like the nicest guy ever, but like he had to do things to get his team to work together.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to do things as the coach or as a player coach, which almost he was, that people don't like to hear.
Right. I did. I told my team, I'm like, did you guys see that documentary? He yells too, like me.
Yeah. Right?
Right? I think it's needed for a good team.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So do you like the speaking, or do you like the training over running the company, or how often do you do the training?
I train about every 6 weeks.
Okay.
It's my passion. It's a hobby. I do get paid, obviously, but it's more not about the money. It's about the passion and making a difference and allowing people to realize their greatness and see their greatness, and then giving them the tools to build the team that they want in their business and in their family.
So can you share any secrets with us? Like, how do you unlock that? Like, give us just one thing that someone can do to unlock, to become a successful leader. Anything?
It starts within. It's really, it's not a secret. Okay. Like you were talking about some people that are close to you that we know. It's about trusting yourself and believing yourself. And just like about building the business, what are you going to give to others? Because a lot of people do things, but it's only if there's a string attached, or if they're, what's in it for me?
Right.
And I truly believe like givers gain. So if you give everything you have with nothing, no expectations, you will get back tenfold. It may not come in the same shape or form, but it will always come back.
Right.
So a lot of people are afraid to do that.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to take your training, where do you train at? Where do you teach
I
at?
train at You and Improved.
You and Improved?
The letter U and Improved.com.
Okay.
Yeah, You and Improved. It's an amazing company out of Scottsdale, Arizona. People fly in from all over the country, or before this pandemic, all over the country, all over the world. It's an immersion style training, leadership, communication, teamwork. And it's a weekend training. It's based on the best leadership companies in the world have one model, and that's immersion and spaced repetition.
That's amazing.
Whether it's a boot camp or sports, they go to spring training and all that. So it's all based on that. So you're going to immerse yourself for a weekend and focus on yourself and give yourself a gift.
And then everyone leaves there just feeling amazing?
Yeah, and it's not just about it's not a cheerleading camp by any means. It's where you leave there with tools and a plan to go out there. And this is what I'm going to do different with my business and my personal life and for my team. I always have the focus in my business. None of my sales reps have non-compete clauses. None of them have contracts. They don't have that. If I'm not bringing something to the team, to your life as the owner of the business, and to help you better, I don't want you to be here.
Right.
You can go and you can take everything I've taught you and do your own thing.
Wow.
But if otherwise, my goal as the owner of the company and the leader of the company, it's not about leading the company, is I want to bring, so that if you leave here, you realize, man, I left a good thing.
Right.
And
so what do you do to keep them? Is it just that you pay them well, you care about them, you treat them well?
it depends on certain times. Like right now, it's about keeping them focused and keeping them driven. This hasn't been a 2-month spring break. Because that's a lot of the mentality that's going around right now.
Right.
So look, we have to stay focused. We have to use this to, when everyone else is sitting down, we got to push harder, faster, stronger, and we have to do it as united front to go out there and get our message out that we're here. And the people we're talking to on the phone, they hear that, hey, we're here for you. We're going to get through this. And we come out this is the plan. Here's the revenue recovery plan. Here's the dashboards. Here's a plan to help you when you get out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, how much is this plan? There's no cost. Again, give first. Just get the gifts, and then we'll show you the gift and use it and make sure it's better than anything you've seen.
Right. And they've been on board?
And they're not always on board. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they'd rather be on spring break for 6 weeks.
Right. I know that we're all competing with unemployment right now.
Right.
Unemployment's paying more than, for trying to hire somebody else right now.
And it's a mindset. I mean, when they're telling you to stay in your home, it's hard to get motivated at times. And then you listen to the news and you don't know what's factual. So you got to give them, and that's what leadership, you got to give them a plan.
Right.
And here's the plan, and let's execute the plan.
Right.
And the plan may change.
Right.
And we're going to pivot quickly.
Yeah. So are you starting to emerge and come back to work now?
Yeah, we're starting. We started last 2 weeks, just Tuesday and Thursday. And then next week, we're going to start Tuesday because it's a 3-day weekend and being back in there full time and ready to go.
Do you think travel will change for you?
I mean, I think it's going to change for everyone.
I mean,
but
you'll
it
still
changed
be on
after
the road.
9/11.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do things different and see things different and expect different results. So we have to work harder.
Work harder, yeah.
And differently. So we're going to adapt. And that's the one thing about having a small business and not being stuck in the ways and being able to listen, that you listen to what your customers want.
Right.
And respect them. If they want you to wear a mask and you don't usually wear a mask, wear a mask.
Right. Just listen to them. It's not easy.
Right. You don't want to shake my hand? Okay, I won't shake your hand.
Right.
We're good with that. I don't need to be right. I need to make them right. That whole start with why.
Yeah.
If you that book was amazing, and if you
start with why.
Right. If you focus on making them right, you will be right.
Right. It's not easy.
You will always be right. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I can always say whatever the answer is, yes, because I'm going to get it to where I get a yes from you.
Right. I love that.
That's
good. So if I wanted to start a loyalty program, I know it's easy for these casinos because, they're used to doing that. But as a corporate company, I own an ad agency.
Right.
We have clients. We're always going after new clients. How can a corporate company launch a loyalty program? Could we do something like Power Up Promotions? Have you seen anything like that?
I mean, the biggest thing about any promotion is a lot of people want to give away gifts. And it's at the end of the day, it's got to be quality. We've all been to some event, sporting event, corporate event, trade show, and we get this swag bag or this junk that we waited in line for at a booth.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't even make it home. We leave it in the hotel room.
Right.
So my whole philosophy is it's got to be quality, no matter what it is. And I don't like giving away anything that's promo quality.
Right.
We spend a lot of money on samples, even if it's coming from China. It may take us 4 or 5 samples to get it to where we're going to present.
Wow.
Okay, so no, it didn't change. It wasn't thick enough. The material's not soft enough. It's the buckle's too flimsy, whatever it is. I don't like it. The hat doesn't fit right. I need it redone.
What's the timing on something like that? Like, say I wanted 1,000 bags, kind of like to me. What is the typical turnaround time on that?
I mean, 90 days is safe. Usually, especially on soft goods like that, that's not a hard good. We could turn it around in 60 days.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other parting advice for the entrepreneurs out there building their business? You obviously have a very successful business, and you're really just your story about how you're building your clientele and staying in touch is really an inspiration to me. It makes me want to go pull out a spreadsheet of all my clients and start calling them tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's really about connecting with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds simple, but people are, especially in today's society, and as I hire a younger workforce, they want to find an easy way. Well, I'll just look on LinkedIn.
Right.
No, like you got to get on the phone and you got to connect, and then use the email for an excuse to call them.
Right. They don't want to pick up the phone and call anyone.
Right.
They're not used to talking to anybody.
Right.
That's
People want to buy with people from people they like.
Right.
They're not going to like you or learn to like you from an email.
Right.
They're going to learn to like you from picking up the phone. Hey, did you get that email? Do you have any questions? You know that everything I showed you can be changed. You can change the color. You can change the fabric. You can change the color of that, whatever you want.
Right.
You want to change the packaging? I can do that.
Right.
And then when they do that, like, oh my God, they took the time to call me.
Right.
And even if it's in a message, leave that message and make your messages, detailed, but not boring, just quick, detailed, and to the point, and then get off.
Right. How much is too much? Like if I'm going after a client and I've emailed them and now I called, how often do you keep going after them until you get them? How much is too much?
Me, I'm relentless. Like
you just
I have
keep
nothing.
going?
I have nothing to lose.
Right. I'm the same way.
I have. How bad do I want them?
Right.
You right?
So you just keep going until you get them.
Yeah. And sometimes when I get to a point where I'm really cold calling and I want this casino or I want this corporate client, my messages change after a few calls. Hey, one day you're going to appreciate this relentless pursuit. Okay.
Right.
That you're going to appreciate that. And when we connect, you're going to love that about me, but I'm not going to keep calling you. Stop calling you.
That's amazing.
I'm coming for you.
That's
and
good.
then when I set up a meeting, I'm like, I hunted you down.
I came after you.
I came for you. And that's another thing. Here's the number one advice when you're building a business and your sales team. Without a doubt, it's not cold calling. It's never cold calling. It's hunting.
Right.
Okay. People will pay tens of thousands of dollars to go on a hunting trip.
Right.
But they don't want to cold call. I am hunting good customers and I am hunting purchase orders.
Right.
Then if you look at it like that, and then once you get to, it is hunting, because once I find you, now I'm friends with my customers.
Right.
Because they know that I'm going to follow up. They have my cell phone. They can call me 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And if they need something, hey, I'm coming to Vegas. You want to do dinner? I'm with my family. Okay. So now it was worth the hunt.
Right.
I have a relationship that I just built.
And that person's probably going to refer you 10 people.
Right.
Right.
They're like, oh my God. And once you get into like a new area, like, oh, I have the best promo guy.
Right.
They're so awesome. I can call him 24/7. I've won a lot of bets for people. Like they'll call me like 9 o'clock and I'm like, hey, what's up? and they're like, oh my gosh, you just won me $20. I'm in a board meeting and it's 9:30 at night. And I go, my promo guy's going to pick up the phone. And I'm like, what do you got? He's like, we're just brainstorming. We have a conference coming up. Can you get this? I'm like, I don't know, because it's 9:30 at night, but let me write it down. I'll have an answer for you in the morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in parting, do you want to give out your cell phone number?
Sure.
What is it? I'm writing it down for myself.
702
702
353
353
1695.
1695. And where can everyone else find you? Your website is
poweritup.com.
poweritup.com. And do you have any social media we can follow you on?
Yes. I am so bad at social media. On Instagram and LinkedIn, Power Promotions.
Okay, good.
Power Promotions LLC. And Facebook. Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll connect with you there.
But I believe on the phone. So just call me. If you can't find me, you don't have to find me on social media. I will call you back.
Dean, thank you so much for coming in. This has been really, really great. I really appreciate your time today.
Same.
Okay.
Thank
Take care.
You. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. And if we brought you any value, please rate, subscribe, and share our podcast. Also, please make sure to connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Until next week, I'm your host, Paula Y.